Hello friends, let us see the second shloka from the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is known as Puruṣottama Yoga. Bhagavān Śri Kriśna says, adhaśhchchordhvaṁ prasrutastasya shākha gunapravruddha vishaya pravālaha adhaścha mūlānyanusantatani karmanubandhini manushaloke. This tree has its branches extending both upwards and downwards and is being nourished by the three gunas, which are tendencies, and is blossomed with the objects of the senses. The roots of this tree also hang downwards in the form of the human beings who receive the fruits according to their karma done with righteousness or unrighteousness. In Jñyāneśwari, Sant Jñyāneśwara starts with explaining how this worldly tree grows. Bunches of sprouts spring up in the form of knowledge and actions. The first one amongst them being that of the spiritual action. Then, towards the bottom side of it, a sprout of conceit of individuality, ahankar, comes up with the three leaves representing the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. Then this conceit of individuality with sattvic quality creates the top of wisdom and starts growing the partitions of all types, mixing the rajas guna in it. Then the juice of hesitation and doubt causes this individuality, the ahankar, to form the various twigs of mind, which is manas, intellect, which is buddhi, the supreme consciousness, which is chitta, and the ego, ahankar itself. After that, the five straight and solid branches representing the five basic elements, which are space or ether called akash, air, which is vayu, fire, which is tej or agni, water, which is jala or udaka, and earth, prithvi or bhumi, and they grow straight up. These in turn give the rise to the 10 sense organs which exist within the body. These sense organs, which are indriyas, then cause the blossom of the sensory objects, which are vishayas, for each of those senses. Sant Jñyāneśwara then explains about the basic life forms. Pari adi tava svedaja, jaraja udbhija manija, he budauni mahabhuja, uthati chari. The Ashwatha tree representing the universe has the main root of the ignorance as seen in the first shloka. From that then arise the four main trunks which represent the four basic life forms. These four basic life forms are Svedaja, those which are sweat produced, engendered by heat and moisture, generated by warm vapor or steam. These are insects and vermin. The second life form is Jaraja, which begins with the fertilized ovum, like in human beings, apes, monkeys, and similar ones. The third one is Udbhija, where the life begins with sprouting or germinating, like plants. And the fourth one is Manija, the life form which begins with the eggs. Then, from these four basic life forms, the tree develops bunches of sprouts forming millions of branches which represent various species, including those which are now extinct. All of these branches then get nourished by the three gunas, as explained by Bhagavān Śri Kriśna in this shloka. Sant Jñyāneśwara explains about the Rajoguna, which is the tendency of passion, activity, movement, self-centeredness, egoism, individualization, and likes. ऐसा राजाचिया झुळुका झडाडिता आगळिका मनुष्य जाती शाखा थोरावती. ऐसे रजो वाते प्रचंडे मनुष्य शाखांचे मांदोडे वाढती तो एथ रूढी मनुष्य लोको. Rajoguna causes the growth of the branch of the human beings. These branches are clustered towards the center of this tree of the universe. It blossoms with the worldly sensory objects which give a momentary satisfaction. These cause the addiction or infatuation and increase the branches of actions with spiritual merits and demerits. This entire cluster of the tree is called the human form. Sant Jñyāneśwara then explains about the tamoguna, which is the tendency of imbalance, disorder, chaos, anxiety, impurity, destruction, delusion, negativity, ignorance, inertia, and laziness. He says, तैसाची तो रजाचा वारा नावेक धरी वोसरा मग वाजो लागे घोरा तमाचा तो. ते धवा याची मनुष्य शाखा नीच वासना अधिदेखा पाल्हे जती डाळुका कुकर्माचिया. When the winds of the tamoguna tendency start blowing, then these same branches of the human form blossom towards the bottom side with vulgar, lowly, and despicable desires and behaviors. These then give rise to the accessory trunks of misdeeds. These are similar to the aerial roots of the banyan tree. They keep on growing downwards and then help expand the tree again with similar branches of tamoguna misdeeds. Over the generations, these wrongdoings result into the fruits of having to get the next life of the lower grade creatures and wild animals. This causes more branches to sprout of the same nature. Hence, these can be treated as the roots growing downwards from the tree. Sattva guna is the tendency of balance, harmony, goodness, purity, positivity, creativity, and peacefulness. When the winds of the sattva guna start blowing, then it causes the offshoots of righteousness in the branches of the human beings. That results into more offshoots of the good deeds, and they develop the intellect. Then they have the blossom of the mindfulness, spirituality, good behavior, positivity, and so on. From this, then grows the blossom of dharma, righteousness, karma, good deeds, and liberation, moksha. It keeps on growing upwards, and in the next life, next generations, gives birth to the branches representing better human beings like saints, rishis, and heavenly bodies like Indra and other gods. Sant Jñyāneśwara says, Manushya lagoni zanavi, urdhvi brahmadishesh palavi, shakhanchi vadhi baravi, unsave pai. So effectively, from the human beings upwards towards the heavenly bodies come into effect due to the growth of the trunks and branches started with these blossoms of sattva guna. Hence, human beings are themselves also behind the growth of the heavenly bodies. In this way, with the nourishment of the three gunas, with the blossom of the sensory objects, due to the infatuation of the sensory organs, and due to the deeds of righteousness and unrighteousness, this Ashwatha tree of the universe, with its branches both upwards and downwards, having the main root on the top and the aerial roots on the bottom side, keeps on spreading in all directions at a tremendous speed. Let us hear the shloka again. Adhaśhchordhvaṁ prasrutastasya shakha gunapravruddha vishaya pravalaha adhaścha mūlānyanusantatani karmanubandhini manushaloke. Friends, let us meet again to listen to the third shloka of this chapter 15 of Bhagavad Gita in a few days from now. Until then, Jai Śri Kriśna.